Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Just peeking at my stash here. Hello. Good evening. Happy Friday. Kind of wait for a couple people to join us. Make sure we're all live. All right. I wasn't on screen there for a minute. All righty. All right. I heard myself, so I know we're getting going. We're live. Hi, everybody. I know there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. I know there's some SCT, I think, stuff going on, and I think there's a couple other lives going on. So, hi, Kate. How are you? Just going to give everyone a couple minutes here to find us before we get too far started. Happy Friday. Happy spring, officially, since the last time I saw everybody. I am live. Thank you. Okay, Isis, no problem. You can watch that. Hi, Brandon. Thanks, Penny. All righty. You can join for a few minutes. Well, you can watch the replay if you want. So we're gonna do a little swapping out. Before while people are gonna get coming in, I wanted to show. I know I talked about this last month, but I gotta switch my camera around. Sorry about that. Okay, cleaned off my desk here. I am making a little mini album each month or each with the subscription products. And at the end of the month, then I'm gonna send them to the store, and they're gonna be on like a jump ring like this. Pets all fed, no current gator sightings. That's good. Penny, you're two-timing me. Hi, Mama. So I got my January done, by the way. Oh, thank you. That is my new YouTube. And then I just kind of took some of the images off the website to make my, because I don't have a finished project because we're going to finish it tonight. Otherwise, I would have had a picture. But I'm trying to streamline my videos to kind of be the same. So here is my Hi Shirley January album using the subscription products. So I thought I'd show you guys quick because I finally got this done this past weekend. So I a few add-ons. And then we have our February, which I've already showed you guys that has that on the stencil is here. And then my March one is officially finished as well. Hi, Annie. So I wanted to show you guys that. Now, for this one, I did use the Freebie Friday, and I did use the add-on, the Rainy Day Up and Away dies, but I wanted to show you guys that. And then that I created those. So this my little album is coming together. I have my 3 months ready. So I am on top. I'm not behind. And I'm just going to put them on a little junk ring and then all right, let's move on. So I hope you forgive me because this is mixed media and it has some drying stages. My first little bit is going to be different colored, but it's the same preference. It's the same thing. It's just different colors. Our project is going to be blue, but I already got two ready and I don't need a third. So I'm going to make one and then I'll share this with you guys later or maybe next week using I didn't turn my light on. Using the rainbow cards. Okay. So I know my phone's got a little bit of that's a little bit of shadow there, but that's fine. So what we're gonna do is this is just a plain 6x6 canvas. I get 8 packs of them. Hi, Sean, off Amazon. And I used some of our gesso. You can't really see it. I don't know much about it, but I just put it on there. You can kind of see them, but that had to dry. So I had to do that off screen. And basically all I did was take it and brush it on. So nothing fancy there. Now I'm going to take some chroma mists and I did not link these because I'm not going to use these with my project. This is just the process of how I started. I've got the daffodil, the magenta sparkle, the marigold, and of course my ornament gold. Yes, I'm going to use the magic of TV tonight. So basically this is the same process as what I did before, but I needed to have it dry. And I didn't want you guys to have to wait for that. And it's not easy to dry this on camera. So all I did was spray a bunch of this. And of course, my ornament gold is my favorite because it gives shimmer to everything. And then I'm kind of creating this summery, this is kind of more of a sunny, fun look. And then I'm gonna grab a little water. And I really do want it to not have too much white. So I'm just gonna kind of spritz some more. And if I have to later off camera, I can go in and add some more color. But I really just thought I'd show you, this is kind of what I did, okay? So I just want to do a little bit more here, kind of cover that up, just to give it a fun background. And then I'm just going to set this aside to dry. Now, if I was going to keep working with this, you can use a heat tool as long as you keep it moving, but I don't necessarily think you guys need to sit there and watch me do this. So, because that's all I did was spray it. And I'm just going to leave this off to dry. So we're done with that. And I'm done with all of those colors that I pretended we used tonight. Now, through the magic of TV, and then actually I should show this. What I'm going to do is when this one is dry, I'm going to take a stencil and I'm going to use a different stencil than the one I used. I'm on the fence which one I'm going to use. I'm either going to use my burst stencil, which I think is retired, or the high tide that is now back out. And I'm going to use that to add a little bit of the unicorn glitter glaze. And I'll show you what I mean. It's going to look kind of similar to the one I'm just going to show you through the magic of TV. That's part I can't show you because it won't work for a live. So through the magic of TV, we'll pretend we used the tinsel blue and the the tail feathers and the bluebell. Through the magic of TV, here is our background, all dry and ready for us to go. But what I did for this one is I used and I'm not sure which direction I used the Deco Foil, the Deco Flower stencil, which just came out, and the April glitter glaze. Now I did this step ahead of time because, like I said, I did not want to necessarily have to have you wait for this to dry, okay? If that other one dries before we're done tonight, I will show you the next step, but I want to go on because we've got other steps to go. So through the magic of TV, that is done. Our next step, I'm super excited about this project. This is kind of just for fun. Yes, here. And I wanted to show you in the light. So my other one, and the reason being is when you use sprays or aqua pigments, they're going to be different every single time. And here you can kind of see where it kind of bubbled a little bit. I did splatter a little bit of the shimmer spray on it once it was dry too, so that we could get past that part. But now here's the fun part. This is where we're going to play. I have the scripted stamp. This is my favorite. I've been waiting. I was so excited to get this out. And I just have it on a block. I don't even have it, I don't even know if we'd had to have it on a block, but it is on a block. We're going to take our Raven ink. You could use probably the pigment ink as well, but it doesn't matter. And we're just going to, and this is very juicy because I just re-inked these. So I am going to be careful, but I love the shimmer too. And I'm just going to take it and we're just going to stamp it on. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And what I have found is that if I held it and I tipped this over, I could kind of push. It doesn't matter. This is just adding some fun texture to the background. It doesn't have to be perfect. I didn't get it all in there. I can go back in, push it, because we're just going to add other things on top. Because we're working with canvas. The other way you could do this is leave it down and take your pattern and just set it in and press it in. It's not really going to work in a MISTI, obviously, because of the thickness. And we're just adding some fun. You could do this with any color you want. You could do it with a dark blue or a gray. And I'm just adding some of this script wherever I feel like I need it. And because of the scriptness, it doesn't matter. See, I can put that back in there and you're never going to know that it's not perfect. We're going to add more things to it. So it's okay that if you mess up and don't get it. I don't do a lot of this kind of project. This is something yes, I'm creating layers. I've just started having fun doing this. And I did create a Halloween one that was like an exploding canvas for Christopher. I sent that into the store. And so I've been trying to play with more of these, and these creative cards to me are just screaming for this. So here's that. I'm going to hit this with my heat tool real quick just to make sure it's nice and, because that is so inky. This can be dirty. All right, no problem. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in, Isis. Just do that, and that's all I need. So you can do this with any kind of stamp you really want to. You wouldn't have to use the scripted. You could use shapes, or patterns, and just ink a little bit of it up because you're just creating that. Now next, so like I said, there's multiple layers with this. We're going to go ahead and do one thing and then the other. This was the sun rays. It was a freebie with Monroe Madness. I decided I wanted to use this tonight. You really only need the circle, but we're kind of creating this rainy kind of looking background, but I wanted to add some more fun. So I'm just going to hold it in place. And I believe I have everything linked below that is for this project. If there is something else, I can add it tomorrow, but when I add the photo, I will have everything, but everything should be there. And then I'm just going to grab, oh, see, my ink isn't quite dry. So we are going to hit that with the heat tool again. Hold on. That smeared it a little bit. That's okay, though. I promise it's going to be okay. Because we're going to cover it up. That was my fault. You could hit your script with some embossing powder. This is one of those projects that I could do in multiple stages if I wasn't necessarily live, and just let it dry and go in between. I'm just going to rub my brush off a little bit because I got a little bit of that ink on there. Like I said, I really inked up my ink pad and re-inked them, so that's why that happened. All right, wipe that stencil off quick so we don't have any of that extra black on there. I debated about using another like shimmer mist or something like that, but I decided I didn't necessarily want that. I'm going to line that back up, and then we're going to try it again. There we go. It might be still wet in a few spots because I'm just going to dab it on. We really just want a little bit of the white. We're going to cover this up. I'm going to show you here. We're just creating a little effect of the sun. And I wanted just a little bit of that yellow to shine through. And of course, we're doing this on top of green or on top of blue. So we're getting a little bit of a green color, but you get the point of this. All right, let's pull that away. So yeah, so we just got that little bit of sun. Well, now that's all good, but it doesn't really stand out much, does it? I've got my little stencil bin off to the side with my stencil cleaner. Just gonna throw my stencil in there. Like I said, I was debating about making a third one of these, but I didn't know what I would do for sure with the third one. So I thought if you guys didn't mind this extra step, like I said, we can do the second step again with that other one. What we're going to do now is take swatch dots. You guys have seen me use this. That's what I use on these to do my embossing powder, which here's the Easter grass if you haven't seen it yet. And I'm going to take one of these, and it fits perfectly on the top of my little circle there. That's why we did a little bit of yellow underneath. Now, what I learned is that I turned it upside down and I grabbed my bone folder and I kind of rubbed it. And I tried to rub it kind of hard, use my fingers, push it in. Because this is a canvas, it's not paper, so it's a little different. It was a little tricky to get it apart. But what I found for me that worked was I took my little poke tool and I kind of just peeled until I could leave the sticky behind. And then see, this one worked better than my last one. Okay, so now it's shiny because it's sticky. If you touch that sticky, I mean, you could try putting like some glitter on there if you wanted to. Your embossing powder, like we could totally go rogue and go embossing powder on this one. But I think I'm going to keep doing what I wanted to do before. This is the magical shattered glass foil. Now I pulled it out and I didn't know if I had it the right way, so I just held it in whichever you could you can see that it's kind of curling. You can see the curls this way. I mean, even though you hold it, it's just the natural curl of it. And so I know this is the other side because this is a clear foil. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick it down. And once again, I'm going to rub it in really good with my finger. And then we're going to flip it over, which is one of these fun things with these swatch dots are fun for, because you could do just spots on on a pattern paper or a background to make beautiful different colors with this, and like polka dots that kind of shine just where you put that. All right, so I rub that in really good. And then I'm going to, this is where I kind of had to play with it a little bit and play and kind of, there, it worked really well that time. See, it did better on live than it didn't. And then I can tell that it peeled away because there's no shimmery shiny. So I know I used the right side. You can see the shimmer shiner here, and you didn't hear. So this piece is done. And then look at that. Isn't that fun? Look at our sun. Okay. So now is our next step. This is, and like I said, this is just, I was just playing. And to me, what I think is when you do something like this, it's just playtime. Just keep adding what you want and walk away if you're not loving it, you're not sure what to do, and come back. So here is the shower stencil. Yes, this came with the rainy day release. And we're going to set this down. And I'm just going to hold it in place. We're not using anything fancy to use it, nothing. And what I decided to do was I grabbed the glow-in-the-dark Chroma Glaze. If you guys have not seen this, it glows so well. And when we're done, I will, I don't know if I won't be able to show you on camera here tonight during our live, but I will get the one that I have dry, charged, and take a picture so you can see it. Now, when I usually do that, what I do is I charge it really well and I go into the darkest room I have, like a closet or something, and shut the door to take a picture, because then you get the full effect. But this is really fun stuff. So, and it's fun to add to a project you wouldn't know. Like, especially to Halloween, if you can do eyeballs with this, people are never going to know that it glows in the dark until they see it. I'm looking for, okay, I use one of my silicone things. And we're just, like I said, this is mixed media, so it doesn't matter if it's perfect. And I'm just holding it in place. I'm trying to get thick on it because I didn't do it as thick on my other sample, and I want it a little thicker so that it's going to show better. And that has a little bit to do with the fact that my canvas has some texture on it already. So, ooh, there's a Fletch hair. And I'm not going to do all of them. I'm only doing a few of them. And I'm only doing the full ones. And now that's only 4. So I'm going to pull this up. And of course, when it's dry, it'll be clear. I want one more because I want, I mean, it's a perfect kind of circle. We're going to cover some of it up, but I want at least one more. So all I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to turn this around, and I'm just going to hold it in place and kind of bend it up a little bit so it doesn't touch the one I already have there. I know I want at least one more. There's the flat chair right there. See it? And then we're just going to leave it. Now, I could do one down there. I could do one up here, but 5 is a good number for me because, like I said, some of them might get hidden. And if I decide to, I could always come back later and add another one when it's all done if I decide I need some more. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stuff off quick. And then I'm just going to throw this in my stencil bin because I'm not going to use it again instead of wiping it all off. Put my lid back on. And through the magic of TV, we have this one. Now I'll tell you, see, this is different. I didn't use the sprays on this one a little as bad. And I kind of wiped them down. So do you see it's just different? But I still have my sun. I actually went out a little bit further with the rays. You know, I took some time. They were dry in between. And actually the rays, the sun is on top. And you can kind of see here, there's one of the umbrellas. So there's a few umbrellas here. And I also ink blended the sides, which I don't know if you necessarily have to do, but here's this part. So next, what I'm going to do is we've got this is the fun part. If I can find them, I've got the creative cards, but I've already gone through and decided which one I want to do. I kind of went through them all. I mean, there's lots of different ones. I mean, every single one you choose could be a different aesthetic. Now, one thing I think I forgot, and I might need to grab that if you guys give me a second. This is the one I chose. I like the color on it, and it's just fun. I need one thing here. Let's see if I can find it. In one of my drawers here. There it is. This is just an old distressor tool. This, to me, is too perfect right now. So I'm going to go ahead, and this has ink on it, so I do not want to get that on my project. This is just, you can get distressor tools like this from about anywhere. This is an old one from a company that is no longer available. And I'm going to just rough it up. You know, I can tear some edges off too, so it's not so perfect. And then when that white, we can kind of, make that white go away. So I think what I'm going to do is tear off a little bit more on one side here, and then we're going to just distress the ink. Now this is kind of messy. I don't do a ton of this. And all it is it's just got some sharp points on it, as you can see. And you can use a metal nail file or a paper nail file. You can use a scissors. I actually know one lady who uses her fingernails. I saw a lady doing it with her fingernails because she had sharp nails. I think I'm going to tear off kind of a couple in each corner so it kind of all matches. And I might even kind of just rough it up. I don't want to crinkle it too much, but I don't want it to be perfect looking. Does that make sense? Because to me, that was a little bit too much. All right. Now, I had not played with this part. I just knew I was going to do some, but I didn't want to wreck any of these beautiful cards and not use them. So I thought I would do this part live. And like I said, there's no real rhyme or reason. I think if you were really going to get into it, you could even burn an edge if you wanted to very carefully. I'm going to say, be careful. Don't play with, matches, but be very careful. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my, this is Midnight Snack, which is what I use to just kind of rub on the edge of I just went like this on my pad. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to just ink it up because I don't necessarily want the white edges. There's not a lot of white on there's a little white, but there's not a lot of white. You could use brown. Like, a lot of people like to use vintage photo, distress ink, or, things like that. I'm just going to use the blue because I want to stay with the same color sense. I'm actually going to even flip it over and do the back side a little bit. So don't forget that there is a freebie with any shippable order right now. I mean, if you don't place a shippable order, you would have to pay shipping for the freebie. And it is some chipboard viewfinders. Christopher showed those last night. And that is good through Sunday night, I believe, is the special. And that just automatically gets added to your cart with an order. All the links that I have shared are affiliate links, so they don't cost anything for you, but I do earn a small commission off of those. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. I did link, I did link the where I got on Amazon where I did get these canvases in case you were interested. I think next time I want to get some 5x7s. So I wanted 6x6 because I wanted to do some stuff with our paper pads. And that's why I had those. So now here's kind of where we're kind of at. I can just do it and we can leave it and be flat like this. But I'm kind of thinking I want to have it stick up a little bit. So I'm going to grab some foam tape. There are some other things. You could run this through a laminator with that magical shattered glass and get that, or you could cover it with like a embossing powder to give it that like fairy dust, or the spring morning, which is the embossing powder of the month, to give it some shimmer and shine if you really wanted to. But I wanted the shimmer and shine kind of on my background. So we're just going to add some foam tape. This is just our big roll of foam tape, just for a little bit of dimension. So it's going to help put that on. And then before I start gluing, oh, somehow I got a little fuzzy. So hold on. I don't know what happened here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I see it got fuzzy. I apologize for that. I'm going to try to see if I can get it. Come on. Come on. Okay. So trying to get it to focus, you guys. I'm not sure what's going on here. YouTube must be being dumb because. All right. That's a little better. There. It's a little better. There we go. There we go. Okay. I didn't want to go on so we saw it. So next, what I thought would be fun is I went through my stash. So none of these, I can't even tell you where I got some of these things. They might have been from a scrapbook store. They could have been wherever, but because this is mixed media, I wanted to find some things that I could add to my stash or to this project. What is the difference between the regular embossing powder and the thick embossing powder? Samantha said, okay, the like the triple thick embossing powder, I'll show you. If I can find my triple thick, where did I put it? I just had it out because I did it a couple of weeks ago, but I might not, I don't know for sure. There. It's a triple thick. And I don't know if you can see. Hello, Sarah. That it's, let's see if I can pour it in one of these little bins. It's a lot. The granules are bigger. Does that make sense? Now, what I like to use this for is I like to use it as a lacquer. So I use it, I do 2 or 3 deep, and it creates the smoothest lacquer finish on this. Where if you look at this embossing powder, this is the, look at how it's smaller. And of course, it's going to be kind of crazy. Okay. Does that make sense, Samantha? I will heat emboss some later and take a picture so you can see the difference between when they're each one, and 2. Now this one, I will tell you, it's like when you have a very glittered, I heat this one from underneath to start. Because otherwise, sometimes the blower from your heat tool can blow off some of those granules. So I heat it up from underneath a little bit. You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't use it that often. I should, but I just don't. Now, one other thing I did do, I did use the up in the air cutting dies and some of the frostbite to cut out some clouds to put around our sun. Now, what I'm trying to do is be careful because I have those, I had already put down my glow in the dark umbrellas. So I don't necessarily want to cover them up. So I do have them, but I don't want to put them down yet because I want to figure out what else I want to put here. Now, I didn't think I necessarily wanted a sentiment. Does that make sense? Like, I didn't want to stamp a sentiment. And I wasn't sure about even I was thinking of the word dreamy. But I've kind of got to the point where I found these old Tim Holtz ideology, um, like I don't even know what these are, typed tokens, like in my stash. Which funny story, I found some my dies that I've been missing for almost 2 years now, and I thought they're fun. There's create and found and world and story and adore, hope. And I think hope is a fun one for this. There's hope, truth, love, play. So there are all sorts of fun ones that kind of, and to me, I actually kind of like the play because I feel like there's umbrellas is all playing, and let's see what else there is. Wander, time, lucky. So I thought these were kind of fun. And I thought this would be, thank you, Sarah. I thought they'd be fun to add to this. And then, like I said, I'm going to create another one with the rainbow cards. And the one that the rainbow card is, I thought I'd use this one. And maybe I'll use the dream one because I feel like they kind of will go along together. So we'll look at that. And then I also found these. These I bought for a scrapbook for my kids, and I haven't used it. Reminisce. They said graduation celebrations. And there are some sayings. They're kind of, I guess I thought they were metal, but I saw this one was the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams or go confidently into the direction of your dreams as they have life lived. And I thought those were kind of fun too because, you're going out, or what lies behind us or what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I kind of like that one. So we might use that one tonight. Wander, yes, it would too. Wander would definitely go. And then I also found some thickers, but I don't think I want to use these because they said like, hello, sunshine, these are the days, celebrate every little thing. But I don't know if I like these for this. So we're going to put those away. Okay, so here's where we got to finish up our project. And then we can kind of play with the other one. So I didn't want to glue everything down till I kind of figured out where I wanted things. Maybe we will use the Wander one. I think you're right, Sarah. Let's find that one. There's Wish too. World, Dream. Where is it? Travel, Wander. Because it's like what lies ahead and what lies behind, things like that. I kind of like those. Like I said, we could do multiple ones. And there's the hole in there, so I could attach some thread to it if I want or not, but I also could hide it underneath one of these, which is what I think I'm going to do. So this is kind of where I'm going. What do you guys think? There's lots of things you can do. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be I'm going to add some gems. I may end up adding a word to it. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And I'm going to use some glue too. Where is my Gina K glue? There isn't, I know there isn't always a place for it. And it's funny, I was talking with my sister about this, and I should have messaged you, Sarah. I even Pinterested scrapbook layouts, but everything was rainy day, rain play, and I'm like, it's not what I wanted. And so I thought, we're just going to see what we have. And then, like I said, I found these, and these actually are sticky, but I don't think it's going to stick. So I'm definitely going to use some glue to stick this down. And I am going to use this. And I think I do want it right here because I do want it right next to this. And I'm going to flip it. This is going to all fall off. Thank you. And I'm going to hold it down a little bit. I may have to come back with something thicker if it doesn't stay. We'll see. I might have to use some. And then I need a glue dot or something, I think. And I don't know if I have any of those handy. We will try some double-sided tape. I may have to grab a glue dot after the live and stick this underneath. But, I'm a card maker. I've just gotten into back into scrapbooking. I'm actually going to work on scrapbook later tonight with the rain boots. But I have been kind of toying with more ways to use my stash, and like especially with these beautiful things that we've been getting. Hi, Solana, you're fine. Happy Craft Friday is right. Um, that these creative cards are just been so beautiful and fun, the pattern papers and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna just put this on right here because I love that it's right below that wander. We're gonna stick this guy down in here. It's gonna be a little bit on top of our, and then I liked the fact that it was had that little bit of shimmer to this. And then we're gonna add a little bit more foam tape to this one. We're almost done with this part. I do too, but I wasn't sure because this is for the wall. I didn't know if I wanted a punny thing. I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna make a second one with a different panel, and obviously it's gonna have a different, these things are gonna be different, and I'm gonna decide which one I wanna send to the store, and then I'm gonna decide which one's gonna go on my wall. And so we've got that and that. And then I thought for some fun, we would add some crystals. And I grabbed the blue shift because I thought that would go. The crystals would be fine too, but I know those are out of stock. So I thought I'd grab the blue shift. There's also the violet shift, which are darker, which would play up with the black that we used, but I'm kind of just going to use the blue shift, I think. And we're just going to add a few more gems. They're going to kind of mimic some rain, I thought. And we're just going to add them a couple spots here and there. And then I will see if the other one is dry, and I will show you kind of how my process was when I got started. This is something that I have been wanting, like I said, I've been wanting to do a lot more mixed media. I started some, I was watching videos and I went, the dollar store always has those kind of cheaper wooden things, and I have a big ghost, and I have a haunted house and some pumpkins. And I started kind of playing with a pumpkin last year, and I didn't finish. Did I add more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we got to have more than that because there's not. We'll put 9 and 10, actually 11 there. And maybe we'll put 12 and lucky 13 up there. And I just think that it's fun because I can put this in my craft room on my wall and be like, I created that. And if I get tired of it, it can go away. And, I just think that's something that's extra to our stash. Thanks, Ellen. Like I said, these were, I think it was an 8-pack of canvases. And I think it's just kind of fun to add something a little different to what I'm doing in my creative outlook because it makes me play with the products, especially because we have so many fun consumables with the glazes and the sprays and the foil that make it fun. So I'm just kind of dabbing up the glue. So here we got. I don't know if I'm going to add anything else to it. I think this is kind of what I like, so it's just going to be hanging on the wall. I may add some shimmer or shine to the edges, maybe put some embossing powder on the edges just to give it some shine. I may leave it plain because like I said, it's not perfect there, but I kind of want to just show you how I did some of that. So let's see if my first one is dry here. It's not quite. And it's very light. See, here's the difference. Look at how light this one is. It's very light. And I mean, it looks actually like it's got some brown to it, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to show you how I kind of heat this up a little bit. It didn't take long. And I just kept it moving. That's awesome. And you can see it start to kind of bubble and dry away. And that is partially because I used that gesso on here. And so it's not seeping into the canvas. I mean, I think that's my personal thoughts. And I can just see it starting to dry pretty quickly. So now I'm going to pick it up So I can kind of move it and you can get as, that's a Fletch hair right there. Thank you. Hope it's okay. We got 20 minutes if we play a little bit with this one. You could do this with just, you wouldn't have to do a canvas. You could do this on a piece of watercolor paper or heavy stock. Funny, there's a little bit of brown in there. I must not have shaken. Looks like there's a little brown in there. Okay, now I don't want to try. I don't want to. I'm going to try to make it as dry as I can, so at least so it's not shiny. We're close to it. Okay, that's close enough. That's close enough. So let's clean up the little spots on my desk. I'm going to reach the sides of this. Okay, so what I did is I just took my dry canvas and I think I'm going to go with that high tide stencil. If I figure out where I put it, it's behind me. I'm going to go with this high tide stencil. Thank you. Yeah, they're just, thank you. They're just fun. And I mean, like, you can see, if you can kind of see there's shimmer in there. And that is from the magenta sparkle and that ornament gold. Okay. And yeah, there's dots in there and stuff like that where I'm okay with that. So we're just going to grab this stencil and I'm going to grab, I thought the unicorn horn would be fun. Oh, let's cover up our glue here. And like I said, we might not get this one finished because this is going to have to dry. But we can play with something else if there's something you want me to. I can play with that triple thick embossing powder. So I'm going to grab this. I haven't played with unicorn horn in a while. And I'm just going to grab it. And like I said, just kind of slather it on. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just in spots. I like that this one had circles. That is some of the fun to do with the mixed media is you can just, and this one is more of a rainbowy thing. So I'm kind of putting a little bit more down, but I'm okay with that. And then we're just going to peel it off. And look at how fun. I mean, even just doing some of them and doing some fun glitter glazes. I mean, you could do a wall hanging with just that. And I could put just the word, I could put like the word smile or dream on here and you'd have a nice, beautiful wall hanging that would be glittery. And like I said, using the different things. So this is going to have to dry, but we're not going to have time to watch that dry. But I did want to show you that they do sometimes pick up the color. Like unicorn horn picked up a little bit of that. I don't know if you can quite see that. It's not quite clear. It's got a little hint to it. That is not enough for it to bother me that I am going to put this back in the jar because this is a rainbowy glitter glaze. If it was super pigmented, like with a red or something like that, I probably would just throw it in the garbage, like wipe it off. And then another thing you can do is if you didn't want to do layers and layers and layers, you weren't into the layers, you could take, and I'm not going to do this tonight, but you can take this and you could set this right in here and it would stick to that glitter. So just kind of wanted to show that to you. Part of it. I'm going to leave this to the side and then we'll just maybe kind of play with something else since we have about 15 minutes. Is there anything you guys want to see from this release that you haven't seen? Let me put that aside because I do want to stamp on there. I'll probably stamp with a light ink, maybe the white embossing powder. The white alabaster is probably what I'm going to use for that one with the same scripted stamp because I want them to be the same that way. So real quick, is there anything anyone wants to see quick? Before, or we just want to play a little bit? Have you seen the ink or the new pastel aqua pigments? Because you can do the same thing with that. I can show you that too. Here are the aqua pigments, the new pastel ones. And this is how I did that first one. I actually took some and I just painted it on. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit off to the side here. Let's do a little bit of the colors. This is Spring Daisy and Citrus Burst. And you can do, and this will be another one. Like I said, I'm making 2 of these because I'm going to keep one and I'm going to send one into the store. And you can just paint them. Now these are quite light colors, so they're going to be hard to see on camera. Yeah, the white, it doesn't like the white. So we might have to show a different color. See if I can find a darker color. Let's try Pixie Dust. You're not going to see it. These are too pastel-y almost for this. You might want a brighter color. We can grab it. I just thought I'd check. Yeah, they're not. There's going to be, it's too much white with the gesso. So let's see if I can grab one that's a little bit darker. This is Glinda. I don't know if this is, I did, Ellen. I gessoed all of the canvases. You can kind of see it here. I mean, the white, it doesn't like the white. The camera doesn't when it's bright. And I just used our white gesso. Now my jar is a little bit different. They come in a newer jar than what I have. I just ordered them. So I literally painted it on just like this. They come in a jar like this. I just stuck it in and I painted it on. Nothing fancy. So you can do that. And one thing you can do is that you can get the brush strokes. So I just, that is something you can do. Let's see if we can grab another color here. These are lighter colors, and I'm trying to use the same kind of colors, and I did not shake. Here's yellow. So, oh yeah, see here, you can just see the brightness of the yellow. That Glinda is quite light. But how fun you can do the same kind of effect. And like I said, do I have a better, Glinda might be too pink, too light pink. Yeah, here's pink. We'll grab pink instead. And the nice thing is you can grab like a pink and a yellow and you'll get the orange in there when they overlap. There, that one's better. And my brush is dirty, so there's going to be different colors. But it's the same thing, except you're going to see your brush marks a little bit. And of course, I've got dirty brushes here, so I'm not cleaning it between my colors. But the other thing you can do is spray it with the water. Rub this off quick in some water. And then you can and it will blend a little bit more. So you get the colors. And then I like the brush strokes because I think it adds the texture. But you don't have to do that. That was a little bit different way of doing it. I did one like that. And I got some of those brush strokes in there. Okay. It is. And that's kind of what my thought was, Ellen, is I didn't want white. I wanted some color and I thought it was fun to add. I liked the sprays better, my personal. So here's the difference between the aqua pigment, and of course this one's wet, and this is the spray. And of course I used very light colors for this. And then for my blue panel, I'm trying not to get my wet one on anything else to get down in there. This one was the Chroma Mist sprays. And I got a better, because I could spray it and add the water, where this one was the aqua pigments. And you can see where down here in the corner, there's some white and it's not as perfect. So you get a different one. Hi, Tia. So it kind of depends on which way you go. Here you can see this one is starting to dry. So here's the glow in the dark chroma. I guess this one's starting to dry here because it's thinner, and here's where it's thicker. So you'll know the difference. This is what it looks like when it's wet, and then when it's dry, it will be clear. So, okay. So is there anything else tonight? I mean, I know we got about 10 minutes, but I am going to maybe end a little early tonight. because we are actually going to do a design team tonight. Well, tomorrow too, for those who are going to bed. No people being named. But I'm going to get ready to sign off. If there's any other questions before I do, you also want to mention you have a couple more, another week yet on the create your own or the CYOE challenge, which is fun folds or a fold of any kind. You know, you can, like I said, take a shape and fold it and put it on your project, and you could be like, it folds up. You know, it doesn't have to be a intricate fun fold card, but just something with a fold on it. And you would put that in the Brutus Monroe fan club page with the hashtag CYOE challenge. So I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I hope this was kind of fun. Thanks, Kate. I'm going to probably do these off and on as if that's okay. They are hard to do a little bit live, like I said, with the different steps. So I'm trying to get a few things done ahead of time. Otherwise, I may do some with just some pre-recorded videos. But I think I don't want to go up there right now. Sorry, T. I am liking staying here. You can come down here and see us. Um, have a great evening. Don't forget to stop in. There's the freebie with the chipboards tonight that is through the weekend. And have a great weekend. We will see you next week, okay? You're welcome. Oh, thank you, Debbie. You guys have a great evening.